Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to My Yoga Time. Today is another short yoga snack to help you unravel any tension in the body and also clear the mind. I've got 2 blocks for this practice. If you don't have blocks, you can improvise with a rolled up towel, and you'll place that towel underneath your shoulder blades, and we'll start in that position, coming into our supported fish pose. So 1 block or towel under the shoulder blades. If you've got the towel, you probably won't need anything under the head. If you've got the blocks, taking the one under the head to the highest height if you need to lighten the pose. Alternatively, have them at the same height, or if you can go a little deeper, you can remove that block and bring your head down to the floor. Now, if there's any niggling or catching in the back, just keep those knees bent. Otherwise, feel free to straighten and relax the legs. And take those arms out to the side as high as they'll comfortably go. Option to take chin mudra. And close the eyes down. Place the very tip of the tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. And begin to tone through the back of your throat. Ujjayi breath. As you engage those muscles in the back of your throat, you should feel the breath roll over the throat and hear the sound of your breath. And let's cultivate a little gratitude in today's practice. So just take a brief moment to think of something or someone you're grateful for. What makes your heart smile? Try not to attach to the person or the situation. Just begin to tune into that sense of gratitude. Inhale that sense of gratitude into the heart center. And at the very top of your inhalation, pause, hold the breath for as long as is comfortable. And then slowly exhale. And when you're ready, bend those knees. Turn the palms down, tuck in your chin, and bring yourself all the way up. And then we'll come over onto all fours, into your tabletop pose, props to the side. So from here, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and just begin to round the back, pressing into the pads of the fingers, and try to slide the knees away from one another. And then find a neutral spine. Extend the right leg behind you, toes pointing down. Option 1 is there. Option 2, left arm out in front. Keep a tuck in the tailbone, keep drawing the navel in. If the back starts to sway, then you're switching off your core. Try to keep the tongue in the same position and the jaw relaxed. Well done. Lower that left hand down. Take your right foot over to the left. Look over your shoulder, looking for the heel. Pressing into the hands, the hip, the heel. And come back to center. From here, we'll thread the needle. Take the right arm underneath the left. Bring your right ear to the shoulder or to your block if you need. Left elbow pointing up to the ceiling. Feel free to take chin mudra through your right hand. And engage the shoulders here, squeeze the shoulders together and try to firm your right arm down. Option 1 is staying as you are. Option 2, you can straighten the left leg and hover that foot up off the mat. And let's return to center. Changing sides now, left leg behind you, right arm out in front. Feel as though you're squeezing your left leg and right arm in towards the center line of the body. And let's lower down. Take that left leg over to the right, looking over your shoulder, pressing into the hand, the hip, the heel. And let's return to center, threading the needle from here, left arm underneath the right, pointing the elbow up to the ceiling, engaging those shoulders, and firming left arm down into the mat. Option is stay as you are, or for a little more heat, take the right leg back and then float the leg up, keeping the foot dorsal flexed. Check that no tension has crept into the jaw. And let's release, lower down, pushing yourself up into your tabletop position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, curl the toes under. Inhale into your back bend, exhale to round. Option to stay with your cat-cow stretches, otherwise when you round the spine, lift those hips up into your downward facing dog. Hold your downward facing dog as you inhale, and then exhale, knees to the mat. Follow the in-breath into your back bend. We'll do one more. And then holding your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Option to open out that hip, bend the knee, look under your armpit and flex the foot. Then straighten the legs, square the hips, step through into your low lunge. So if the foot doesn't make it, you can always use your hands to give it a lift. Make sure that the ankle is underneath the knee. Option here to use your block underneath your right hand. We're going to take the left hand to the back of the head and open out that left shoulder. Here I want you to try and pull your left knee forward, drag your right heel back. And then deepen your breath down the left side of the body. Remember to pause before you exhale. Lower left hand down, bring both arms up. And exhale, hands down. Take the hips back, half pyramid pose. So pointing the toes to the ceiling, try and drag your right heel back. For a little more sensation in the hamstrings, try and lift your tailbone just a little. From here, we're going to walk the hands forward, moving into warrior three. So you might choose to use your blocks here underneath the hands, or bring one hand or both hands to prayer at the heart center. If you're here, palms are pressing, draw the shoulders down towards your hips. Be sure to tuck your tailbone just a little and try and lift through your inner thigh. And see if you can inhale that sense of gratitude from time to time. We often forget that which we're grateful for in challenging times. Coming all the way up, bring that left knee with you. Option 1, your lower left foot down, come into your chair pose. Option 2, one-legged chair. Inhale to come up and bring the arms up. Exhale to fold. Half lift as you inhale. And as you exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Left leg up. Option to lift the hip and the knee. Point the knee to the ceiling. Look under your armpit. Straighten the legs, square the hips, step it through into your low lunge. Bring the right knee down to the mat. Option to recruit your block here for that left hand. Right hand coming to the back of the head. Remember to try and pull your right knee forward. Deepen your breath down the right side of the body. Let's lower right arm down, bring both arms up. And exhale, hips back. Coming into your half pyramid pose. When you're ready, walk those hands forward, either with or without your blocks. Coming into your warrior 3. Inhaling, right knee up. And moving into your one-legged chair or two-legged chair, both feet on the floor. And let's release. Inhale. Exhale. Half lift. Forward fold, step your right leg back, high lunge this time. Coming all the way up, you can bring the hands to the hips to begin with. Now if you're feeling a little unstable here, you can always take the feet that little bit wider. And I encourage you here to try and press the feet away from one another. You're stretching the mat with the feet. Let's bring the hands down behind you, interlace those fingers. Press the knuckles towards your left heel, lifting the heart, lifting the chin, moving the throat forward. Let's release those hands. Bring the hands to prayer. We're going to twist left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Strong and straight in your back leg. Return to center. Step back now into your plank position. Option, of course, to bring the knees to the mat. Rounding out the upper back, tucking the tailbone under. Bring the body forward. Make sure the heels of the palms squeeze in, elbows brush the ribs, come all the way down to the mat. So once you've touched down here, I want you to cross your right leg over your left leg. So you're going to squeeze the thighs together, tuck the tailbone under, bring the hands next to the body, and inhale, float the legs, the upper body off the mat. So just a different variation of your locust pose, Savasana. Keep pressing those thighs together. Steady the breath. Inhale. As you exhale, lower down, uncross the legs. Return to your plank via the knees. Round out the back. And then take the hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bring the knee to the wrist. Pigeon pose. Lengthen your left leg behind you. So if this is not an option for you with knee and hip injuries, lean off over to your right. Bend both legs. Left thigh, right shin parallel to each other and the short side of your mat. If you're here, you'll fold off to the left. Otherwise, your back leg is straight. And you'll fold down into the center. Feel free to support your head with your hands. Be sure to witness your breath moving the body. Find that little pause before you exhale. Follow your next inhalation out of the pose. We'll step it back into your downward facing dog. Feel free to walk out the legs or move the hips from side to side. And when you're ready, left leg up. Step it through. Find your high lunge, coming all the way up. Remember to press the feet away from one another. You're stretching the mat. Interlace the fingers, lift the heart. And bring the hands to prayer. Let's twist. Return to center. Step back into plank. Exhale to lower all the way down to the mat. And we'll practice that same variation again, this time crossing left leg over the right, squeezing thighs together, tailbone tucking under. When you're ready, floating up. Feel the breath move the body. And when you're ready, lower down. Return to your plank. Be sure to round out the back. Treat that as a counter stretch. Maintain that roundedness as those hips move back. Downward facing dog. And then left leg lifts as you inhale. Pigeon pose. Left knee to wrist. Lengthen the right leg behind you. Same option as before. If you need to, lean over to the left and bend both knees. Folding forward when you're ready. And inhale to lift up. From here, you can lean over onto your left as you swing your right leg around. So keep those knees bent, press the heels down into the mat, try and drag the heels back. Hands to prayer, slowly lower down. When you touch down, feel free to take the knees and the hands, gentle rock from side to side, or make those circles. And then placing the feet onto the floor, bring the heels in as close to the bottom as they'll go. Palms can face down, squeeze the heels in, press down through the feet, down through the head. Begin to tuck your tailbone under as you lift your hips up into your bridge pose. So avoid the knees from falling out wide here, keep hugging them in towards one another. Option to keep your palms on the mat, or you can interlace the fingers, tucking the shoulders under. Keep pressing down and away through those feet, down through the back of the head as the sternum moves towards the chin. Inhale, pick up the heels, release the hands, slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Then you touch down, cup the hands over the knees, arms as straight as you inhale, bend the elbows as you exhale. Take longer there if you need to. Otherwise, cross the left leg over the right leg. Draw the knees in towards the chest. If it's available for you, take the hands a little lower, maybe towards the feet or even the outer ankles, and gently draw those feet down towards the mat. You might like to rock from side to side. Then release that grip. Try and stack the knees above the hips or thereabouts. Imprint your lower back into the mat, Mula Bandha engaged. Option 1 is here. Option 2, lift the upper body off the mat. Reach the fingers forward. Keep squeezing those thighs together. And then lower down, move the hips a little to the left. Before twisting to the right, you might like to use your prop underneath the legs for support. Arms out to the side here, and a little downward pressure through your right arm. Option to move the back of the head to the right before turning to the left. And inhale, coming back to center. Squaring the hips, uncrossing the legs. Taking right leg over the left leg this time. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Option to take the hands a little lower to the calves, ankles, or to the feet. And release those feet now, stacking knees above the hips, pressing your lower back down into the mat. Option to float the upper body up, reaching fingers forward. Keep squeezing the thighs together. And let's lower down. Hips move a little to the right before twisting to your left. Breathing down into the lower belly, the lower back. Let's inhale those knees back to center. Uncrossing the legs now, moving into Savasana, your final rest pose. One of the most important postures you can do to let the body reset and all the positive benefits from your practice assimilate. We'll turn the palms up. Option to find your mudra, tucking shoulders under. Softening the forehead, the tongue and jaw. And as you drift into Savasana, inhale that sense of gratitude into your spacious body, quiet mind. And begin to inhale a little deeper now. Feel free to wiggle toes and fingers. Or run the tongue over the teeth. Following those urges to move or stretch. And when you're ready, roll to your preferred side, bringing yourself up. Thanks, yogis. I hope that you enjoyed that practice today, and I do encourage you to continue to inhale that sense of gratitude from time to time throughout your day. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, not just my channel, but any yoga teacher that you watch on a regular basis, as it's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Have a lovely day.